This program is brought to you by the Genesis Communications Network, a world leader in talk radio since 1998. Visit GCNlive.com today.
For tuning into this live episode of the Naseema Omer Show, produced by Genesis Communication Network on this beautiful Saturday afternoon, not too hot, not too cold, in our, what I like to call sunny Minnesota, Burnsville, Minnesota. I am very excited for today's show. We have a live show today, so that means you can call in with your questions. I will give out the number a few times. It is 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. You can also listen to the show at any time, on demand, archives, etc. And if you happen to catch mid-show, or you can rewind and listen to more of it and share it with your friends and family. As you know, I like to bring you pieces of information with resources so you can look into it further if that is something that fascinates you. Today, I'm going to be talking to Marc Holley. Did I pronounce your last name correctly, Mr. Holley?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. Thank you for taking the time to be on my show here in person. Mr. Holley is in person in my studio here at GCN in Burnsville, Minnesota. He is the executive instructor and owner of the Atlas Defense Company, and his tagline is Confidence Through Competence. I love it. He offers situational awareness seminars and firearms training and helps develop confidence through competence, as I explained earlier. And we'll go into much detail on all of those segments here, and he'll provide a wealth of information. Mr. Holley is a businessman, coach, instructor, and has served as an armed guard in Afghanistan. Thank you, Mr. Marc, for doing that and servicing our country. He has experience in working as a global watch officer and monitoring the center supervisor in Eagan, Minnesota. And he has served in the United States Marine Corps Reserve as the military police officer and combat marksmanship coach. He's also well educated in criminal justice studies and is currently studying even more, as the process of learning never ends. I agree with that 100%. Is attending Normandale Community College in Bloomington for his further business education. Welcome, Marc. Can I call you Marc?
Yes, you can call me Marc.
Okay, thanks. Welcome. Please, I'm so excited to know everything about you, your story and all. And before I start, you'd mentioned that you were on this awesome canoe expedition, I like to call it, yesterday. How was the weather, and did you have fun?
It was beautiful. I'm taking a Minnesota Natural History class as part of my summer coursework at Normandale. And one of our last field day trip for this semester was actually a canoe trip down the St. Croix River. We traveled up to Osceola, Wisconsin, launched and pushed off from there, and it was such a beautiful day that we just were on the river the entire day. Jumped off at a couple of sandbars, went swimming, and we were getting college credit the entire time too.
Wow!
I was recording my observations about the environment around us for my final project. So
how fun is that? And the weather was nice yesterday. Yeah. It wasn't very hot or too muggy. Julys in Minnesota can get pretty muggy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about you. Your background. Are you born and raised in Minnesota? Mm-hmm. And how did you get about to be in criminal justice, your
Absolutely.
work experience, etc.?
Yeah, so thank you for asking that, Naseema. I was actually I was born in Bogota, Colombia, in the late 80s, and I was actually adopted when I was only 6 months old by my parents, John and Tina Holley. I was raised in Northwest Indiana. The largest town in that area, I would say, would be Valparaiso. Indiana would be the closest one anybody could identify on a map.
Okay.
A very small community that I grew up in. I loved growing up in Indiana, though. I always had the chance to get outdoors and get involved with just the outdoors, either be it through camping or hiking or bicycling, a little bit of archery and a little bit of shooting, too. So that was a little bit of my childhood. And then when I graduated from high school, I moved up to St. Paul, Minnesota, to study criminal justice at the University of St. Thomas. And I actually finished my freshman year there, and I decided that the entire time I really did want to just join the Marine Corps.
You love the outdoors from a very young age anyway.
Oh, yeah. I decided, I was in 7th grade when September 11th happened in 2001, and that's when I decided I was going to join the Marine Corps. Whether or not I knew it or how I was going to do it, that's what I figured out when I was, after my freshman year there at St. Thomas. So, anyways, I joined the Marine Corps Reserve to stay here in Minnesota, because I actually fell in love with the cities pretty quickly, so that's how I decided to join the reserves. In the Marines, though, I became a military police officer and a combat marksmanship coach. Got deployed to Afghanistan in 2010 to 2011 as a embedded trainer with 7 other Marines from Texas, actually. And there we actually lived and worked with the Afghan National Police Force. We trained them up on their tactics and firearms, and we were running pretty much a training camp in Tarancott, Oriscon, Providence. I always like to give a shout-out to my other Marines that I deployed with there, with Pat, Jason, Earls, Jesse Sanchez, and Pete Garcia. Those are my best buds out there when we deployed. Also got to work with the Australian Federal Police Force too, and got to work closely with some foreign militaries. After that, came back home, finished up my sophomore year at St. Thomas too. Had a little bit of a transition, and then after that, I got back home from Afghanistan, and I just started working. And I worked for Apollo International on a contract with Thomson Reuters in Eagan, and that's where I started working in their global security department, doing travel security risk assessments, mostly for when our people were traveling down to South America. And I kind of already had that personal connection to South America, as it were, so that's how I was able to really apply myself in that line of work.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Oh, yeah. And then throughout that entire experience, so I always found that I was never really enjoying myself very much working for other people and building other people's dreams. So about a year and a half ago now, I actually decided to quit that job, and I picked up a security contract with a company to work back in Afghanistan. Most of that was just to pay off my debt so I could get Atlas Defense started. Mm-hmm. And then that kind of brings us to where we are now.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. That's quite a bit of, what do they say, curriculum vitae, a fancy word for resume, right? Mm-hmm. So, boy, you've had a lot accomplished already and so much more yet to come forward.
Oh,
and that is so exciting. And, thank you for serving for our country. And that is always not always roses. So I'm sure on your trips abroad, they weren't always seen through rose-colored glasses, but everyone glad you're here. And I'm sure
and it's always the other guys. That's why we do what we do. That's all it comes down to for us. Yeah.
Exactly. And so so now you started your company called Atlas Defense. And was it because perhaps, the goal was to encourage everyone to be a little safer and take charge of themselves, to take that responsibility, to be prepared and aware of their surroundings, so to say?
Yes. So actually, when I was conceptualizing and thinking and brainstorming about how I want to do Atlas Defense, I actually did have a little bit of a hiccup when I first started. I tried to start before I actually left for Afghanistan and put all my eggs into one basket. So anyways, when I came back home, I restarted on my own, and I decided that I wanted to start Atlas Defense because I saw that there were several types of demographics that have been overlooked by the gun buying industry as a whole, because they've already figured out exactly, what their clientele is. And that's why they drill down on that, and they let that blow up from there. But I also think that there is plenty of other people out there that are either interested in learning about situational awareness, or even learning about the firearms that they may not have or they may already have. And the most responsible way to go about that is to actually seek out professional instruction. Mm-hmm. And that's what I offer through Atlas Defense. And as I was brainstorming and trying to think of, what my client flow would be, that's how I came up with situational awareness, because I decided that instead of going straight to a firearm, maybe somebody should consider to hone their situational awareness and powers of observation and decide for themselves if that's enough for them to feel safe.
I think that's a great idea, like a preliminary preparation.
Exactly.
Or a preliminary pep talk to yourself even before you take that step, or
yes.
perhaps you've taken that step and are unsure of yourself. Mm-hmm. And, you've hit so many key points that, gosh, we could have like 3 episodes in just what you've mentioned so far. But, being aware and observational and those skills and talents, it's, I don't think I am the most observant person, seriously. If somebody was to ask me, what was so-and-so wearing yesterday, or what color hair does so-and-so have, or eyes, and I'm like, I'm not sure. But at the moment, those are all skills that you have to pay attention to learn. So as I started paying a little more attention to it with a conscious effort, I was able to perhaps remember or recall that piece of information a little better if I paid attention to it. And so that in itself is an exercise or something that you cover, correct?
Yes, and actually it's funny that you mentioned that, because that's actually one of the exercises that I suggest to my students too, throughout my seminars too. It's just what it boils down to is having the self-honesty to look inward and be like, okay, what did I miss yesterday? Why did I forget, what I ate for breakfast? Or why do I forget, these small details? And instead of approaching that with negativity and saying, I just gonna get instead of just getting down on yourself for forgetting things, why not just take a step back and say, okay, what else was going on that distracted me from noticing these details that I care about now? So having a little bit of situational awareness, a little bit of self-honesty, I think is what a lot of my services boil down to.
That's fascinating, and I can't wait to hear a little more about that when we come back to find out more on, do you have to be a firearm owner to take this training? Stay tuned.
This is an alert. If your business or church is building this year, you're about to pay more than you should. This could mean thousands of dollars more for your office, retail space, church, or warehouse. A General Steel building can save you as much as half the cost and time of similar conventional construction. And we're offering rebates of up to $20,000 to help you build today. Call General Steel for free information that could save you thousands. Call 866-91-STEEL. 866-91-STEEL. 866-91-STEEL.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care, as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
There is an affordable alternative to the high cost of healthcare that offers freedom from insurance while providing compliance with the Obamacare individual mandate. Imagine having access to quality, affordable healthcare that allows you the freedom to choose your doctor and hospital. Members can share up to 100% of necessary medical expenses, including some alternative treatments. Find out how you and your family can contain healthcare costs without giving up your freedom. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
This is a warning to all household pests, to all cockroaches, spiders, ants, rodents, and other pests. If you've just made yourself at home in someone else's home, you better hope the owners never hear about Terminix, because Terminix has the know-how and the means to do whatever it takes to remove you from that home. Terminix has over 85 years of experience exterminating invaders like you. And right now, they're making it easier than ever for homes to be protected by offering a free pest estimate to every caller at 1-800-676-1468. Cockroaches, spiders, ants, rodents, and other pests. This is your eviction notice. With one call, Terminix will remove you from the home you've invaded. If you think you can simply come back later, think again. Terminix will protect that home with a 100% satisfaction money-back guarantee, so you can never return. Warning, homeowners are calling Terminix right now for a free pest estimate at 1-800-676-1468. 1-800-676-1468.
Limitations apply. See plan for details.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Welcome back. You are listening to the Naseema Omer Show, and you can tune into the Naseema Omer Show at your own time outside of the live show times by going to naseemaomer.com and looking at the archived files. You may also go to gcnlive.com. That's GCN for Genesis Communication Network Live.com. Find my show and get a hold of me that way. Drop me a line, leave me a comment, and feedback on the community tab there. We are taking live questions today. The number to call is 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. I'm talking with Mr. Marc Holley today from Atlas Defense. It's a fascinating topic. Yes, it is a topic some may shy away from and some may embrace. But as I said, I like to bring pieces of information, a hodgepodge of topics, and then the audience can decide whether it's something they want to pursue or not, or look into further. Should you need to reach me after the show, always send a note through naseemaomer.com or radio@naseemaomer.com. Welcome back, Mark.
Thank you.
Just before we went on break, we were talking about the type of training you were explaining on observation and safety awareness, etc., and that it's not necessarily something, I remarked, it's not necessarily something that only a person with a firearm or someone who's planning to have a firearm could take.
Yes. Yep. And that's actually why I do offer some of my situational awareness classes more so to the public. I've been working closely with the Bryn Mawr neighborhood, Call Uptown, to put on some more public classes there. And as far as the rest of my clients go too, when I am hosting these classes at local gyms like the Movement Minneapolis or Undisputed Strength and Conditioning, we actually open those classes up to the public too. So not only is it for the gym members, but it's also for the general public too, and we promote it as such too. And that's why I'm trying to make it as open and as approachable as possible, because all too often, like we were saying, I think that when somebody thinks about firearms, all they think is the $50 permit to carry course that you're going to take through Groupon that may go on at a Broadway Pizza maybe, or like at a hotel conference room with a large classroom with too many people, 25 or 30 people in that classroom, and all they're trying to do is get that check in the box and get their training done. And I think that that just doesn't place enough emphasis on responsible firearms use and responsible firearms ownership. And that's how I use my situation awareness classes and the rest of the open architecture of my client entry as a whole, to let people feel like they can come up to my business for any reason. If they already have a firearm, if they already even have their permit to carry, we can still set up, that progressive training plan to get them to a new skill level. And if they don't even have a firearm yet, they can still come to me, and we'll talk about situational awareness, take them through one of my classes first, and then from there they can decide for themselves whether or not they feel that they need a firearm, because I don't think it's my place to tell you whether or not you do need a firearm, because everybody's perception is different.
Right, yeah. Right. However, you can certainly influence the educational piece and emphasize the safety aspects.
Absolutely.
And other pieces, like even the memory training, right? And being more aware makes you a stronger human being by itself.
Oh, yeah.
Out there in the environment, in our environment, whether it's a peaceful environment or otherwise, or to be ready all along. And, I was so impressed as I was doing a little bit of homework here, looking into it. You really were active here and offered a training at Parksdale Office Park not too long ago here, actually last month, near St. Louis Park in Minnesota for the LGBT group, and
yes.
You were in the press release. And from that perspective, this is something that everyone as a humanity, as a whole, could benefit from, is to be aware on situational awareness. Tell me, why is it that there are so many accidents that happen? And I think it kind of ties in with this, let me just pay the $50 or whatever the case be. But, let's get into that a little bit when we come back.
And more safety,
This is a short segment. Stay tuned, 866-582-9933.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hi, my name is Scott Fuchs, teacher and rowing coach for over 14 years. I was sluggish, overweight, on prescription drugs, and only 30-something. Fortunately, I was referred to Dr. Z, and happy to say Dr. Z's all-natural protocols over a consistent course resolved my health issues. I'm in the best shape of my life, and most importantly, on 0 medications.
I'm Dr. Stanowski, author of Evology, trained as a primary care physician, surgical manipulation under anesthesia, expert in nutrition, diet, weight loss, immune system, and I specialize in chiropractic. My 15 years of professional experience has taught me the 4 keys to vibrant health: a balanced musculoskeletal system, an integrated nervous system, a flowing lymphatic system, and a body filled with over 90 essential nutrients. This has been a secret too long. Actualize your potential, reverse disease. Call me, Dr. Z. 201-945-1177, 201-945-1177, evolyourself.com.
Think about this. Your community's aging water infrastructure systems are very likely to be contaminated with heavy metals like lead, disinfection chemicals like ammonia, chlorine and chloramines, and pharmaceuticals like statins, pain meds, and antidepressants. And no, water treatment plants are not equipped to filter these pharmaceutical toxins out. Protect your family's water supply with the trusted Big Berkey water filter. New NSF EPA-certified lab tests show Big Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria, and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market, the gold standard in water purification, and our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Extendivite is more than just a heart tonic. Most basic diseases are caused by yeast in the gut and metals in the liver, and we all have a bit of both. The garlic in Extendivite has a yeast-killing effect in the gut while also helping the sulfur enzyme in the liver get rid of the metals. Extendivite just may improve your overall health. Products like Extendivite are the only way we are going to get our society healthy. And if you're waiting for the government and pharmaceutical care to solve your health problems, you're going to have a long, disappointing wait, I think. Extendivite is a complete formula for extended life in the new millennium. 80 can be the new 60. Extendivite is available in capsule or liquid form for just $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To get started, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
Just love this music, Mark. Oh,
we're actually just talking about Lindsey Sterling.
Yeah. We were. Welcome back, everyone, to the Naseema Omer Show. I love that music, Lindsey Sterling, and I stumbled upon her by chance, really, as I was trying to decide what do I want for bumper music terminology in the radio world as the start and end music. But anyways, I want to give more talk time to Mr. Marc Holley, so we'll dive right into it. If you have any questions, please call 582-9933. And as always, I will have the show on my YouTube channel as well after it is aired. So hopefully look for it in the next couple of days here. Welcome back, Mark. Right before we went on break, you know, there's so many. My mind has has so many questions. And one of the pieces was on the safety aspects and accidents and your offerings to everybody. I love it that you give this safety awareness, situational awareness training. Tell me a little more about that, because I think that's going to answer a lot of our questions.
Yes, thank you. And yes, I'm glad that you're giving me this opportunity to talk about situational awareness directly, because I do think that situational awareness, that term in and of itself, has a couple of preconceptions. And the way that we define situational awareness at Atlas Defense is something that's already, we're using information that honestly is already out there. We're just using it for 2016 now. And what we're talking about in situational awareness is actually the OODA loop, the Observe, Orient, Decide, Act loop, is developed by John Boyd in Vietnam. He was an Air Force pilot. And he was one of the most successful Air Force pilots in the history of the Air Force. And when they asked him, how are you able to make these decisions in these dogfights so quickly, he's like, it's the OODA loop. And after the Vietnam War, he kept on teaching the towel of the OODA loop. And what he never actually finished his writings, but everything that I've been able to find is essentially what we're drilling down is the orientation part of the OODA loop. So it goes observe, you take observations from your surroundings, and then you orient. And when you're orienteering, you're making the most informed decision that you can based on the information that you have. And making that most informed decision is probably the most integral, or the keystone part of that process. And the way that we can make the most informed decisions that we can is by continuing to expand our base of knowledge. And the way that we do that is by adding paradigms. So our relative paradigm is the way that we already see the world. And that usually matches up with reality. But when reality doesn't match up with the way that we see the world, that's about 20% of incidents that we come across. And it can be anything from a business deal to a intimate relationship to somebody, crossing that line into your personal space, and even into compromising situations like somebody that's either stalking you or somebody that may be planning any type of violent encounter. And that's how we apply situational awareness, kind of going out, is that situational awareness isn't only about survival. And that's one of those connotations I think that people have, especially with veterans too. When we talk about situational awareness, a lot of people think that all that we're talking about is the combat mindset. And trust me, I tried bringing that back to the United States in 2011 after my first deployment with the Marines, and it just didn't work. That's why I was having some transition problems and all the like. And this time, second time around when I came home, I already knew that I was going to start my business, and I knew that I had a much better environment coming into it. And that was because I forced myself to take a step back and realize that the way I've been treating my world is actually not lining up with what is actually going on. And that's why I'd missed out on opportunities in the past, all those things. So that's why situational awareness can be applied.
If I may just say, that is just an awe. That is so neat that you realize that and brought that element and concept, because it applies to,
literally everything.
Yeah.
And it's building up that mental toolbox. So when you get into a situation, it can be a good one that I like to use is if you meet somebody from another country and their way of greeting you is by a kiss, and they kiss you and you're offended, and that can ruin that relationship from the get-go. Whereas if you had already, say, studied a little bit of the background of this person that you were meeting and expected that, then that makes a more seamless transition in those introductions and those first impressions. And again, that is how applied situational awareness can help you in your everyday life. And like I said, it's not always about survival. It's not always about trying to get a leg up on somebody that you think is about to jump you.
Yeah.
It's about coming out on top on business situations, on personal life, and making the most informed decision that you can based off your knowledge.
Right.
And it's a cycle of continuous improvement too.
It is. It's a constant state of learning, and it doesn't have to be formal learning by going to a school, so to say. It's like constant learning on picking up things from wherever you are.
Literally any topic. And that's one of the what I give my students, the handouts, their take home. We actually give them homework, and I give them a list of different paradigms to explore, and it can be anything from common law to thermodynamics to natural history, literally any type of topic that interests you. Just do a little bit of researching into it, maybe learn a little bit about it, and then once you have that little bit of knowledge, sure, you may not be a subject matter expert, but you'll have enough knowledge to draw from your memory banks if you get put into a situation that requires that type of paradigm.
Absolutely, absolutely. So tell me, what does it take in addition to all that, and what I will group into common knowledge and beyond, common learning and beyond? What formal licenses are required in order for you to be classified as a trained trainer, so to say?
Oh, so my situation awareness class in and of itself is truly organic. I just wrote it out when I was overseas.
Excellent. Yeah.
And I make sure that I give credit where credit is due, especially specifically with John Boyd, because he is the one that made the OODA loop. And that's what I tell my students too. A lot of this is information that's already there that I'm bringing to you. But as an organization myself, yes, Atlas Defense is a recognized business by the Secretary of State of Minnesota. And especially to perform firearms training, I had to get all my curriculums, all my classes inspected and approved by the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, the BCA. They had to approve all my firearms, all my permit to carry classes. And then the other classes that I offer, some have been approved by the NRA. And then my my progressive firearms training, that I just draw on my certifications and my experience in the military as combat marksmanship coach and a military police officer. Yeah.
I'm just so excited. I've always had, I try to do so many things, really, and as I age and continue to age, I find that I cannot focus on multiple things as I used to be able to when I was much younger, and which in a way is actually not a bad quality in itself. It's because we were trying to do too much when our brains and bodies are not designed to do too many things all at once, really. So, long story short, I've often thought of going to learn self-defense and, having a concealed and carry and stuff like that. And when I found out of your course that you offer, I'm like, that is just good in itself for personal enrichment. And sign me up, Mark. Tell me.
We actually have one coming up. We have two coming up soon. One at Undisputed Strength and Conditioning towards the end of the month, August 27th. And I'm also working on one where we just landed a location with Twin Cities Gay Scene Magazine. We're actually, they're doing a whole other thing specifically with the LGBT community, but that'll be open to mostly to the drag queens of the Twin Cities, and it'll be open to the public too. I just have to confirm with my author on that.
Okay.
But yes, we do have two big ones coming up. One, like I said, with Twin Cities Scene Magazine, and one with Undisputed Strength and Conditioning.
Excellent. And your website is atlasdefense.com.
It's AtlasDefenseMN.
AtlasDefenseMN.com.
Yep.
So it's offered in the state of Minnesota currently.
Yes, and with my URL is actually because there's a police trainer company in Texas with the same name. So really? I just wanted to I threw in the MN mostly just as a nod to my roots here, because I truly believe that with my vision, I do want to grow my company outside of the borders of Minnesota and the United States.
Yeah.
And I love international travel, so I always want to justify my international travel.
It's funny. So many times I've had many conversations with many people, and it's so beautiful to see this light when you talk about your dreams and your vision. It's like amazing. And I want to remind everyone, it's never too late to dream. Conscious dreaming, right? Mm-hmm. Never too late to dream and get mesmerized by something. So, okay, that kind of weaves into the safety aspect because, it's so depressing to hear of so many accidents that happen, particular accidents in the sense of firearms, as our topic is today. Mm-hmm. Cleaning, storing, I don't know, silly things like even the carrier, it's called holster of some sort. I mean, accidents can happen with that. Mm-hmm. And those are all things that, if you are too afraid to ask, you can always take this course, or if you are indecisive and you don't know what to do, please reach out to Marc at atlasdefensemn.com. Marc, I'm turning over the reins to you. What else would you like to cover and talk about?
I'd like to address your question about safety, too. And honestly, all firearm safety accidents can be drilled down to one of two root causes, one being lack of knowledge and one just being lack of respect for the firearm. So it's either a poor attitude or just lack of knowledge. And people with lack of knowledge, it's an untrained adult or even a child. It's people who don't know what they're doing with the firearm, and they don't know how to properly store it because they may have not been required by their state to take any type of formal training, because there's plenty of states that don't require that. And after that, even after they do take those types of classes, say in the state of Minnesota, you're only required to take a refresher class once every 5 years.
Oh my God.
And there's plenty of firearms owners that all they do is take that bare minimum, and they just think that they don't need any types of. No, they don't. They get their permit and they're legally owning, but they just don't believe that they need any types of continuing education. It's a little bit of just. It can be sometimes it can be a budgetary thing, and sometimes it can be a little bit ego driven too. And I myself fell underneath that when I was younger, and I was like, oh, why would I need to spend more money on firearms training? I know what I'm doing. But honestly, it comes down, again, like everything else in my business, it comes down to that self-honesty, looking inward and saying, okay, maybe I do need some more practice, and that's when you contact me. Yeah.
That's a fascinating area, and stay tuned to hear more on that, too, when we come back.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep REM sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever. You can buy one of my pillows and get one absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com or call 800-870-0305 and use promo code GCN. That's mypillow.com or 800-870-0305 with promo code GCN.
Are you one of the millions of Americans who suffer from digestive issues like heartburn, acid reflux, IBS, and constipation? Probimune is your answer. Probimune is a brand new probiotic that has been scientifically proven to deliver high quantities of viable good bacteria to your gut to boost your digestive system and improve your overall health. This unique, powerful blend of probiotic strains, coupled with our industry-leading proprietary fermentation process, delivers a maximized bacterial colonization to the gut that no other probiotic can match. Start improving your health today. Visit younghealth.com or call 800-396-9024. Use coupon code DIGEST to receive 15% off first-time orders. Maintaining digestive health is crucial to the body's overall well-being. Don't suffer from negative effects of poor digestion any longer. Order today. Younghealth.com or call 800-396-9024.
As a doctor, I see patients every day who are losing their vision and independence to age-related macular degeneration, also known as AMD. It's the leading cause of blindness in adults 55 and older. Some of us are at greater risk for AMD. If you have blurry vision or blind spots, they can be symptoms of AMD. If left untreated, it can lead to blindness. The good news, with early detection, AMD can be managed with effective clinically approved treatments that can reduce or even reverse some vision loss. Learning that you have AMD can be scary, but there's hope and help. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is researching and developing treatments and cures for AMD. To get your free AMD information packet, contact the Foundation Fighting Blindness today at 1-800-BLINDNESS. That's 1-800-BLINDNESS. Join the fight against AMD, because together there is a cure in sight.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the Internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At ContractorExam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, ContractorExam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.ContractorExam.com today.
Welcome back to the Naseema Omer Show. We are having so much fun here and learning so much from Mr. Marc Holley that I'm sad to say it's the very last segment, but you can hear more of this afterwards on my YouTube channel, the Naseema Omer Show, and look at the archive files. Marc, this section is so short and it flies by so quickly. You know, please tell us a little about you. And I hear there's some great personal event in the horizon for you.
Thanks. Yeah, I wanted to mention, too, that I'm actually engaged and getting married to Heidi Streeter on September 23rd of this year.
Congrats.
She's been my rock and my inspiration. She owns her own business, too, Sapphire Spa in Chanhassen.
Okay.
And she's the one that inspired me to finally take that jump and start my own business. And
excellent. Well, I'll have to just interview her, too, you know.
Right. She'll be happy, I'm sure.
Congratulations. Anyone else you want to give a shout-out to?
Heidi and my family, too.
Nice.
In Indiana, yeah.
Very nice. Oh, I'm excited. And it's in the very near future. Did you say September or something?
September 23rd, yeah.
Oh, my. That's amazing. Okay, so let's carry on, because this segment flies by so quickly, and I want to be sure while I have you, and thank you again so much for your time and sharing all this information and having a great, successful business. I only see that it's going to grow with the concepts you have to offer. Please continue with the safety pieces and more, and whatever you want to talk about.
Absolutely, yeah. And the very last thing, and probably one of my other big points I wanted to make too, was actually a lot of people ask me, where am I located?
Oh, that's right. Where are you located? Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm a 100% mobile business, and when I was setting up my business and writing my business plan and everything else, I thought about doing a storefront or having people come to me, but I would rather bring that knowledge and bring that information to my clients. So for most of my firearms training classes, I actually travel to my client's house. It's a more one-on-one private training. If you do want to do a small group, I can accommodate small groups of 5 to 7 people. And for the larger group training, like the situational awareness training, I usually just work with local gyms or venues like the Call Uptown to put that on at community centers or at businesses, corporate offices. I've been trying to work very closely, trying to get hired on by a little bit larger companies too, like some law firms and some larger people, larger corporations too, because I think this is information, and the way that I'm delivering this is something that is unlike anybody else too. So
yeah. Totally.
That's why I'm mobile. Yeah.
And your situational awareness training is a total personal enrichment class that could fit anywhere. And I'm so glad you covered that because, I did have a note here that you offer one-on-one training and at-home training so people can feel comfortable. And I
make it an all-inclusive service. I always bring in, I provide the ammunition. If you don't have a firearm yet, I'll provide one of my company's guns. I cover all the lane fees, so it's just a flat fee, and that's it. Like I don't upcharge by anything, and that's how they do get you with those $50 permanent carry classes. Then they're like, oh, by the way, it's another $20 for ammunition, it's another $20 for your lane fee, and it's another $20 for your gun rental. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to make a flat fee. I take care of everything, and that's what I try to put my clients' minds at ease so they can build up that competence with their firearm or that competence with their situational awareness. And the more that you feel competent, the more that you'll feel confident. And I think that confidence is one of those key human traits and one of those key needs that I hope satisfy. Yeah.
Right. And how long would it take for an average person, so to say, to get through this course?
To progress through?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So say if you came into one of my situational awareness classes, that would be a 1-hour class, and then after that, I usually sit down and I'll meet with my clients for a consultation, and we sit down and we talk and we decide exactly what they want out of my business, and that's what I give them.
Tell us quick on how to get a hold of you and your social pieces, because I hear that music. We still have 30 seconds.
Yep. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. Just search for Atlas Defense Minnesota. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today, and thank you, Mark, for being our special guest today.
Thank you, Naseema. Remember, like I said before, confidence through competence.
Have a great weekend, and tune in again tomorrow.
Non-attorney spokesperson. Injury Help Desk is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of the lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisements. Services may not be available in all states. Attention prescription antibiotic drug users. Have you or a loved one suffered an aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm after taking the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avelox? These popular antibiotic drugs have been prescribed more than 80 million times since 2004, and medical studies show an increased risk of the following injuries: aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, and abdominal aortic aneurysm. If you or a loved one used the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avelox and suffered from aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-823-3851. 800-823-3851. 800-823-3851.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Get a ProPure with the Pro 1G 2.0 cleanable reusable filter and remove up to 200 contaminants. Drink water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure products, including the new ProMax shower filter. There's a ProPure for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.